I'm Sarah Firth, and I'll tell you about some of the ballot questions. Question 2 concerns the MCAS, which is the exam that all Massachusetts public high school students take. Right now, students in Massachusetts are required to take and pass the MCAS in math, science, and English. A yes vote would remove this requirement to graduate high school. Students would still have to take the exam, but they wouldn't have to pass it to graduate high school.
I think the MCAS still should be a requirement just because I think that's the only state standard to get a high school diploma. So I think if we remove that, then there wouldn't be like a general standard, and I think it's important to have like those standards in like reading and English and math and science.
Well, personally, coming from maybe a more rigorous academic background, I find these kinds of requirements to be well prepared and sometimes maybe a necessity.
I am personally going to vote yes to get rid of the MCAS. I've had many friends, I've had many family members who have been prevented from graduating as a high school student in Massachusetts because of the MCAS.
Well, I know I have friends in Massachusetts that call it the Massachusetts child abuse system. And I was really into it when it first came up 2 years ago, this question. So I think it's generally the evidence points to that it's bad. So I would vote yes on question 2.
I honestly think that's pretty reasonable considering passing is not a very high standard, but I think definitely accommodations for kids with learning disabilities.
If these are really hard exams that make the pass-fail situation a bit really hard for people to graduate high school, maybe that says something about the education system, that maybe students are not well prepared, but still I feel like the exam should continue to be applied, yeah.
I do think it's a good idea to make sure that students are prepared, or that they meet a threshold before they graduate. I'm not sure it should necessarily be a requirement, so you can't graduate at all if you fail.
Yeah, I agree. It's important to have the standards, and if you remove that incentive, then some people might not try their best, and it'll be harder to kind of track how students are doing.
I'd be curious to know what the pass-fail rates are, because if it seems sort of disproportionate, especially based on community, then there's probably something wrong with that. But I don't know the answer based without that information.
I think that the way our educational system is structured, there's always going to be schools that are a little bit more disadvantaged or have more or less opportunities than another one, and requiring a test that everyone has to pass is always going to have certain people failing it, other people passing it, and I think that should be